The name of my company is the Polaire Media Group. I started Polaire because I felt that there was a very strong need for media to be used responsibly and in a way that it could inspire people, uplift them, move them in positive ways, and get them thinking about life and their purpose on earth and so on and so forth. I started my own career in 1977. I was all but dissertation from the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, and I was very proud of my achievements academically. And I went to New York, and I was really dismayed because I kept being required to take typing tests in order to get a job. And so I did take and pass a typing test at NBC, and I got hired at NBC Sports to be a production secretary. Through my work as a producer, and I would create a lot of segments that would deal with issues that were very important, and a lot of human interest stories that again would uplift people and get them thinking. So I did a lot of pieces as a company owner. I had a company called Behind the Scenes Video, then 50/50 Productions, both of which I was a partner in, and then ultimately created Polaire in May of 1987. My dog Caesar died. He was a rescue dog that I found in a park in Los Angeles. And when I moved to Dallas, we discovered he had osteosarcoma, bone cancer, and had 6 months to provide him with hospice care. And ultimately when he died 3 days after Christmas in 1998, I was devastated beyond anything that I'd ever experienced in terms of grief. I didn't even know I was grieving for him. I didn't know what grief was. That led me in a whole new direction. And I became a grief recovery specialist through the Grief Recovery Institute, a nonprofit based in Los Angeles, and got my credentials and became a grief counselor. And at this point in my life, I am more or less semi-retired, so it's nowhere near the chaotic, crazy life that I had in LA, where I was constantly going from early morning till well into the late night hours. I'm very socially proactive. I'm an ardent animal activist and concerned about the welfare of all living creatures. The same with environmental issues. The first book I wrote was called When Your Pet Dies. And I had the option of writing a book for adults, but I chose to write it for children between the ages of 5 and 10 because I felt that this was one of the first significant losses that a child ever experienced. And grieving is always the end of an era and the beginning of a new. So I felt it was really vitally important for people to understand how to cope with grief because, of course, we're grieving every day. I've uncovered a lot of wonderful pieces of information about my life and my decisions and responsibility on my part that I treasured the time I've spent alone, and I encourage other men and women to spend some time, set aside time for themselves where they can be detached, removed, and disconnected from all the technology and be alone with themselves and to kind of explore the issues that are prevalent in their lives and the issues that require thought. And again, ultimately, and I don't mean to sound simplistic, but ultimately wonder, why am I here? What is my purpose? What is my mission in life? And what am I doing to contribute to achieving that mission?